So this week, guys, we're gonna do a very simple recipe. We're gonna make homemade hamburger helper. This is guaranteed to be better than that box stuff. I know your kids are gonna love it. I know you are gonna love it. Without further ado, let's jump into cooking. Okay, so homemade hamburger helper. There's a lot of different ways to make this recipe. This is just the way I like to do it. So the first thing you're gonna need is some 80/20 ground beef. This is 1 pound. You also need some Colby Jack cheese. We have our onions and our garlic, a little bit of parsley that we'll add later on. This is 2 tablespoons of flour. And then this is like a homemade Italian seasoning, minus the sage and the rosemary. So we have a little marjoram, we have some red chili flake, dried basil, thyme, and oregano. And then to make our sauce, we need a good quality chicken stock. Now you can use chicken stock, you can use beef stock, or vegetable stock. I like to use chicken stock, but you use whatever stock you want. We need a little bit of oil to get this thing going, some salt and pepper. We have Dijon mustard, sour cream, Worcestershire sauce, and then whatever pasta you want to use. This is elbow macaroni. You can also use penny pasta if you want. So now to start this recipe off, we're gonna start by cooking down our onions a little bit. So right here I have a large saute pan on medium heat. We're gonna add a little bit of oil. This is olive oil. It's probably around a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons or so. Once that oil is hot, we're gonna add in our onion. This is about half of a sweet onion, or roughly 1/4 a cup. Always season your onions with a little bit of salt. We're also gonna season with some black pepper. And then I'm basically just looking for these onions to be slightly caramelized, not full caramelization. We just want them to sweat down a little bit and just get a little bit caramelized. It's gonna release some nice sweetness into our hamburger helper. So since this pan is big enough, what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna push these onions over to the side, and they'll continue to get a little bit caramelized over here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and add in our ground beef, and I'm gonna press down so it makes good contact, we can get a good sear. We're gonna season our beef with salt, nice big generous pinch, black pepper. Now I know I have a good sear on this ground beef. I'm just gonna start to break it up. And I can even show you too, if I flip it over, it's got a really nice sear on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and break this up into small pieces, mix it in with the onions. So now once that ground beef is about halfway cooked, we're gonna add in our garlic. This is 4 cloves of minced garlic. We're gonna add in our chili flake, marjoram, our dried thyme, dried oregano, and dried basil. Now we're gonna give that a stir into the ground beef. After about 30 seconds, you're gonna begin to smell that garlic. Now we're gonna add in the Dijon mustard, maybe about a teaspoon or so, a little bit of Worcestershire, a couple dashes, and we're gonna go ahead and stir that into our ground beef. Now at this point, we're gonna sprinkle in our 2 tablespoons of flour. We're gonna go ahead and stir that in and let it cook for about a minute. That's gonna help to thicken up this hamburger helper, make a nice sauce that is gonna grip our pasta. And then now we're gonna go in with about 1½ cups of our stock. We're gonna stir that stock until it's incorporated, and then we're gonna bring this to a gentle simmer. So now while this is gently simmering, I have a pot of water on the stove that I season with salt. We're gonna drop in our macaroni now. It's only gonna take around 6 minutes or so. By that time, this should be nice and reduced and thicken up slightly, and then we'll do the next step. So now while our pasta has been boiling, it's been around 4 minutes. As you can see, this is very thick. It's nice and thickened up. It's perfect, it's just what I want. So what we're actually gonna do now is we're gonna add about 1/2 cup to a cup of sour cream. And then we're gonna add 3/4 cup of our shredded cheese. You can use cheddar, I'm using Colby Jack. And we're just gonna gently let this melt into our sauce. I have the heat on a medium-low. Just continue to stir. That cheese and that sour cream is gonna marry together with all the seasonings and the ground beef. And as you can see, it's starting to come together. Now, once this cheese is melted, you wanna reduce the heat to low. We just wanna keep this warm now before we add our elbow macaroni. So now once this is all married together, we gotta taste it for salt. It tastes amazing. It does need some salt. Nice generous pinch. Needs quite a bit more. Black pepper, because I like black pepper. Go ahead and mix this in. I can taste all those herbs and spices. Let's go ahead and taste it again. Delicious. Now we're gonna add in the macaroni. This took around 7 minutes. At this point, we're gonna turn off the heat, and we're just gonna mix this up until our sauce is evenly coating our macaroni. And as you can see, it looks like normal hamburger helper, just a little bit healthier for you. It doesn't have all those chemicals and stuff in there that's in the box normally. We're gonna finish this with a little bit of chopped parsley. And there it is, guys, that's our homemade hamburger helper. Guys, this is fire. It's not lacking in any flavor. It's nice and creamy. You can taste all the herbs in this. I do really like the elbow macaroni over penne pasta. The ground beef has that little bit of a sear on it, which is very nice. I like to sear my ground beef so you get that Maillard reaction. I think it adds another depth of flavor. You could also use fresh basil in this if you'd like. I think the dried herbs are fine for this. And personally, I think if you're gonna feed this to kids and stuff, I think your kids will actually love it, to be honest with you. I think they're gonna like it way better than the box kind. Anyways, I hope you guys tried it. It's a very easy recipe. And if you enjoyed this video or learned something, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.